clearly
citizen.
a lot of people do function reasonably well and still are illegal drug users. That's patently obvious. Because the extent of the degradation, I mean, if you're a cannabis smoker, your head isn't right and it takes a long while to get out of the body, but they can function reasonably well. That's plainly true. Like even we have many high functioning alcoholics. Winston Churchill was a high functioning alcoholic. So we know that that's possible, yes.
Okay, and if that's possible, is it not possible then that some people can take illegal drugs and function?
Well, that's what I just said, yes.
Right.
Some people can function reasonably well.
Therefore, getting everybody to absolutely not use any form of drugs whatsoever, is that desirable, given that some people can function healthily within society and be good citizens and be users of what are currently illegal drugs?
There's a question mark about whether they're being good citizens. I mean, if you're a high-functioning cocaine user in the city and you're using cocaine heavily, eventually it gets you. Eventually, like tobacco eventually gets you, like alcohol eventually gets you. But some of these things can get you quicker than alcohol would. I mean, Winston Churchill lived way into his 80s, was he 90? Alcohol gets you eventually if you use it, and cocaine will get you.
You've gone into addiction. You're not as high functioning if it's.
Well, of course, because it's a slow degradation.
What about moderate people who choose to use moderately?
Or they can use moderately for the whole of their lives.
Mm-hmm. I'm not talking about cocaine and heroin, which are, as scientists have ranked the most addictive drugs. Cocaine and heroin are in the top five with alcohol.
I put nicotine.
And nicotine's up there as well. Nicotine. All of those and alcohol are in the top five. But I'm talking about, let's say, ecstasy or LSD.
Alcohol isn't addictive for most people.
Ecstasy or LSD.
Look, nicotine is addictive for almost everybody who consistently uses it. Alcohol plainly is not addictive for most people because it's widely dispersed through society. And most people aren't alcohol addicts.
I'd beg to differ, actually. I think most people who drink alcohol find it pretty tough to go more than a month without a drink.
That's not my experience. Admitting to oneself that one's got addictive behaviour is pretty difficult. Most people don't admit it. Even your high-functioning regular drug users don't admit addictive behaviour. It's a slow degradation of physical and mental state, isn't it? It's a slow degradation, and there are some people who can do it. But you're using that as an argument for, presumably, against having laws against those drugs. You're saying that
I'm using it as an argument.
I don't know why you're using it then.
Because I'm trying to understand your perspective and flesh it out and look at.
Well, if you flesh it out, these drugs are basically bad. I mean, tobacco and alcohol are basically very bad for society. We're stuck with them, but I don't see the point in social, personal health terms in normalising the use of any of the others.